Hi, I'm Ryan from Philosophy&more, and welcome to the Critical Thinking Study Skills series. This is part 1, starting with an introduction to the series. In this series, we are going to be using this study skills book to help us learn critical thinking skills. Today, we are just going to be looking at an introduction to building our critical muscle, why critical thinking skills matter, and about this book, along with about what this series will be about. Introduction: Building our critical muscle. Nobody is a beginner when it comes to critical thinking. Our most everyday activities require us to make use of some of the basic skills involved in critical thinking, such as working out whether we believe what we see or hear, taking steps to find out whether something is likely to be true, or arguing our own case if somebody doesn't believe us. However, just because we can think critically doesn't mean we always do, or that we do it well. This is to be expected, as we don't need to employ the same level of critical thinking for everything we do. For everyday activities, we can take a certain amount on trust, and this saves us from having to recheck every detail. We have to decide how much information is really required and what level of doubt is acceptable for each new circumstance. The levels and types of knowledge we need vary depending on task, such as whether we are simply switching on a light, inventing a new form of electrical circuit, or treating someone for electrocution. Similarly, critical thinking involves identifying correctly when we need to gain more information, selecting effectively the right type and level of information for the purpose, the appropriate level of critical analysis to use in the specific circumstances. So now we have to think, why do critical thinking skills matter? Critical thinking abilities are essential at every age for everyone in all contexts and every aspect of life. Applying critical thinking skills even in everyday situations reaps all kinds of benefits. It's rewarding to refine your thinking skills, and the benefits can be unexpected. For example, you may find you are absorbing more when watching videos or reading, better at telling when other people are being inconsistent or jumping to conclusions, quicker at spotting alternative interpretations to issues, stories, and case histories, faster and clearer in forming opinion on issues. Success in most professions requires good critical thinking skills. Academic study also requires increasingly sophisticated levels of critical analysis at every level of study. Whether for work or for study, you may be expected to apply critical thinking to what you see, hear, and do, the material you read, how you interpret new situations and events, what you write, say, or present to other people, your own learning, and professional practice. So now that we've talked about why critical thinking is so important to our lives, it's time to talk about what's in this book and also what this course will be about on YouTube. This course will help you learn new concepts used in critical thinking. You will learn how to make your writing clearer and focused. You will be able to produce arguments more effectively. Students will find this course particularly helpful in developing their skills in locating arguments in specialist writings, engaging in dialogues with peers, producing more critical and clear assignments for class, recognizing different types of writing. So now I'm going to talk about the future videos that you can expect on this channel. Firstly, I want to do an introduction to critical thinking. Not quite like this video was, but more of a look into what critical thinking is, reasoning, why do critical thinking skills matter, underlying skills and attitudes, self-awareness for accurate judgment, personal strategies for critical thinking in academic contexts, barriers to critical thinking with knowledge, skills and attitudes, priorities, developing critical thinking abilities, and a quick summary at the end. I then want to do a video on how to identify the arguments being made by specialist writers. This will include the author's position, an activity of capturing the author's position, arguments in persuasion through reasons, identifying arguments, hunting out conclusions, and a summary of features. We will then look at how to distinguish between an argument or other pieces of writing. This will look into argument and disagreement, non-arguments as descriptions, non-arguments as explanations and summaries, and distinguishing arguments from other material. We will then look at how to provide consistency with your writing. This will look at how clear the author's position is, internal consistency, logical consistency, independent reasons and joint reasons, intermediate conclusions used as reasons, summative and logical conclusions, logical order. We will then be looking at how to identify assumptions in essay writing. This can also be thought of as reading between the lines. This will look at assumptions, identifying hidden assumptions, implicit assumptions used as reasons, false premises, implicit arguments, denoted and connoted meanings, as well as some activities. We will then be looking at how to avoid some common essay writing flaws, which will be assuming a causal link, correlations and false correlations, not meeting the necessary conditions or sufficient conditions, false analogies, deflection, complicity and exclusion, other types of flawed argument, unwarranted leaps and castle of cards, emotive language which attacks the person, more flaws and misrepresentation and trivialization, or tautology. After that, we will be looking at the importance of evidence in your writing. This will include primary and secondary source materials, searching for evidence, literature searches, reputable sources, authenticity and validity, currency and reliability, selecting the best evidence, relevant and irrelevant evidence, representative examples, certainty and probability, sample sizes and statistical significance, overgeneralization, controlling for variables, facts and opinions, eyewitness testimony, triangulation, and evaluating a body of evidence. After this, we will be looking at critical reading and note-making. In this video, there will be preparing for critical reading, identifying the theoretical perspective, the relation of theory to argument, categorizing and selecting, accurate interpretation when reading, making notes to support critical reading, reading and noting for a purpose, concise critical notes with analysis and book reading, commentary on critical selection activity, and noting your source of information. Once we've done this, we can look at the writing itself, the characteristics of critical analytical writing, setting the scene for the reader, writing up the literature search, words used to introduce the line of reasoning, words used to reinforce the line of reasoning, signposting alternative points of view, words used to signpost conclusions, words and phrases used to structure the line of reasoning, drawing tentative conclusions, critical analysis of essays using essay titles, academic keywords used in titles, structured argument, which is the body of the essay, and then essays bringing the argument together, citing and referencing your sources, and where can you include a reference. After this, we'll move on to the analysis of the essay. This will include a checklist for evaluating an essay, and then you will be able to look at evaluation, commentary, and other critical thinking skills on different essays that I can provide with you. We will then move on to critical reflection. This will engage us in critical reflection, decide your approach and purpose, including outcome, focus, model, method and audience, relating experience and theory, and then deciding your approach as a summary. We will look at models of reflection, deciding on your model of reflection, the core model for critical reflection, applying reflection to professional practice, reflection and professional judgment, good and bad critical reflection, and presenting your reflection to others. Last but not least, we will look at critical thinking for your future career and employability. This will include thinking critically about your life and career planning, self-evaluation, thinking critically about your career and taking action, applying critical thinking when looking for a job, critical consideration of the best fit jobs for you, using the clues and information provided by employers, where do job applicants go wrong, including examples, how critical thinking skills are useful in work roles, demonstrating critical thinking to employers, critical self-evaluation of job applicants, and a classic checklist. The videos after these will be about different activities that you can try, including some short ones and also some long ones that you can try at home. These will include the answers at the end of the video, so make sure you don't check those out first. I want you to really immerse yourself in this series. So thank you so much for watching this introductory video. I really hope that you find this series useful, so please leave a like if you think that you're going to start using this series. Also comment below about what else you would kind of like me to improve on this series, whether you want more pictures, whether you want more of me explaining and giving examples to what I have read in the book. Please do help me make this better for you, because this is why I am doing it. And please subscribe so you can carry on following the series and ring that notification bell so you know whenever I upload. I don't just post videos like this, by the way. I do post other videos too, specifically about philosophy and about different books that I have read as well, which include crime, politics, sociology, history, Shakespeare, business, religion, economics, philosophy and ethics, and even I have decided to look a little bit into things like serial killers and cults. So if you think that might interest you, please check out my channel to get more of an insight into it. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Bye!